Hey, what's up everybody? It's Rox and I'm coming to you today with a review for Scandal Season 2, Episode 6. I didn't do a video last week. I'm sure you guys all know that by now. But I decided I would go on and make the video for sure this week since there won't be one next week because that's Thanksgiving Day. So no Scandal for 2 more weeks. So anyway, let's get to it. Alright you guys, so let's see. The show opens with a gentleman just catching a mail carrier as she was clearing out one of the mailboxes. He runs up to her and, he hands it to her and she's just like, okay, he's like, thank you. As soon as the postal carrier is out of sight, he pulls out a gun and he blows his brains out. So he's dead, y'all. Out. And we see that the envelope that he handed to the postal carrier was addressed to the most wonderful Olivia Pope. So it's on its way to her agency. When it gets to the agency and they open it up, it looks like it's a bunch of sheet music. It's a good thing that they have a hook around, okay? Because a hook, when you have a hook, you see that something that is covered up to look like sheet music actually becomes Morse code. And when you have a hook, you also have somebody that can read Morse code just looking at it. So he's looking at the paperwork and he was like, oh yeah, this is not good. And they're all like, well, what is it? And he was like, this is Morse code and it's a list of spies, look like a list of spies names. And Olivia's like, how do you know it's a list of spies names? And he was like, you see this one right here? Yeah, well, that's me. Well, you guys know that spies like to live under the radar. They don't like to be seen. They don't like to be heard. And they especially don't like to be put on a list of names of a real big top secret government mission called B613. And, they don't want to be reminded of what they did, the unthinkable for the government back in the day. And when Huck is reading this list of names and he's looking at that, he knows that this is not a good thing. Huck's thing is like, if they were able to find out that I'm here at this agency, this is probably the worst thing and I need to get out of here. Well, Olivia does not want to let him leave her agency. She loves Huck. She has a special place in her heart for Huck that even we don't really know why at this point. But whatever it is, Olivia is not willing to let Huck just leave out like that. She's just like, I'm gonna fix this. And he's like, look, I can give you 24 hours. After that, I'm out. So there we go. Olivia is on the job. Okay, she's the fixer. What we find out about B613 is that it was a top secret government mission, that it was separate from whatever this government agency that Huck used to work for, and nobody really knew about it except for the people that were involved. It was 6 people that was involved. Those are the 6 people that know about it. One of these 6 people evidently is the leak. So Olivia's like, look, in short, let's do a process of elimination. You get your spy friends up in here and let's sit down and talk to each and every one of them and figure out who's the one that's telling the business. Huck goes and does what he does. Now, to us, it looks like he's listening to like the fuzzy part of the radio. When you change radio stations and it's not quite on any station, you hear a whole bunch of carrying on. Well, that's what it sounds like to me, okay? But to Huck, he is actually signaling his spies to come in. Abby is looking over his shoulder and she's just basically like, boy, what are you doing? This look like this ain't really nothing. And he was like, listen, trust me. He said, when you are a spy, he said, you might be going on with your life and everything, but you know to listen. And if you hear the signal, then for damn sure you gonna come. Like that, they do come. One by one, you guys, they all show up at the Pope agency. First we have, we have Spin. That's Huck. We find out that that's his nickname for when he was in B613. Oh, Lord. My battery's fixing to die, y'all. All these damn videos I've been doing this week. This number 4. Can you believe it? I've been on schedule. Okay, so like I said, one by one, they all start to show up at the Pope agency. First, we have Spin. We find out that that's Huck's spy name. Then we have Wink shows up, and Wink was the sharpshooter. She is the sniper of the group. We get Paul Gray. Don't remember what Paul Gray did. We get Melvin Fiend. Melvin's claim to fame is that he can operate with absolutely no sleep, and he can also decipher how much pain a person can tolerate. Betsy Ray, who can set shit on fire and make it look like an accident no matter what. And then we got another guy named Charlie. I don't remember what he did, but when we get the whole entire group together, and we already know what Hook can do, we all know that this group together has probably did more damage to more folks and more things than any of us could even imagine. Now, the spies are all pretty irritated that there's a leak amongst their group because they have all moved on with their lives. Somebody is a doctor, Wink is now a married mother of 3 young children. Somebody is a professor, so everybody has gone on with their lives and don't nobody feel like getting pulled back into this mess. However, they also know that they can't have no leak running around talking about what they've done, or else their lives will really be over. And Olivia's like, no, you don't really have to do no running because we're going to find out who the leak is. Only the few people that's in this room even know about B613, and the person that knows about it is in this room right now. So until I find out who that person is, don't nobody leave this room. Olivia had already done told Hook that whoever this person is that's going to be leaking the information, they obviously don't have that information yet, or else they would have done it already. So the fact that they got all the spies in this room together, they have not been able to get the information to that person to, you know, let out the information on the B613. So that is why nobody is able to go anywhere. You know, Olivia, she starts putting everybody on different jobs. Well, Quinn's job is to listen to what goes on in that room, write down everything that's said, and listen and watch whatever goes on. Because if the leak hasn't got the information to the person that wants to expose it, then if they're going to do it, they're going to do it now. Now, while everybody is out doing their tasks, different tasks that Olivia puts them on, Olivia's out trying to get more information on this B613. She goes to the black senator, who, by the way, on a side note, I told you guys that she was going to hook up with him. Didn't I tell you guys? Okay, because she obviously was in a relationship at one time, even if we might not think he's cute, even though I thought he looked a whole lot better in this episode. Didn't you guys think that he's looked in the past? I don't know what they done did to him. They need to cut his hair down some and make him look a little bit younger. She goes to the black senator, and she asked, I can't remember his name, sorry you guys, and she asked him about B613. He's like, listen, don't you remember you got my ass kicked off of the damn intel? I'm not on that. I don't know anything you're talking about. And besides, if I did know anything about it, I wouldn't tell you, okay? I'm tired of this. Now, you can't be going out with me and doing all this, but you don't want me to touch you, you don't want me to kiss you, you don't want me to, you know, be all this, and then you want me to be telling you information. Absolutely not. It ends right now. That's a wall. She can't get no information out of him. She goes and talks to the blurry laptop man, and the blurry laptop man is the man that's going to expose all the information. You know, he's threatening her and letting her know that, you know, he's going to let the whole world know, and bloody blue blue. So this kind of makes Olivia feel a little bit more frantic, because you guys know she only has a day. Hook is out if she can't get this information. In the meantime, Quinn is back at the office. Quinn is supposed to be watching the group, and she turns her back for a second to talk to Olivia. When she turns back around, everybody in all the spies in the damn conference room then pulled a gun on each other. Okay, it was like a standoff. Nobody really trusts each other in that room. You know, they about up to their limit with patience here. So what do we do now? Well, we got Harrison. And Harrison, who is like a fast-talking used car salesman at times. He goes in there and he does what he does best. He explains very quickly, I might add, that they are, you know, there's no need for them to go through all of this because they are working with the very best, that Olivia is the person for the job, and that she's going to be back in a few minutes, and that she is going to straighten it out, and they're going to find out who the leak is, and everything is going to be all good. After a while, they all start to lower their guns, and you know, Harrison is like, okay, now everybody give me your guns. They all pull their gun on him. They like, damn it, listen, now we gonna work with Olivia, but we ain't got no problem killing you. So he was like, okay, that's all right. Poor Harrison, you guys. And you guys feel sorry for Harrison. Now, Harrison is really trying to hold it all together, okay? But Brother Man's nerves is bad. He got up in that office after that big old standoff, and his hands was shaking and shit. I know he had like little sweat, little perspiration drops coming down the inside of his suit. I felt nervous for him. It's like, you got all these like ruthless killers up in here. Everybody had their gun trained on you, and you know, you had to really try to diffuse that situation. So I really love Columbus Short on this show. I love him in this role. I think he is a really good actor. But you know, he's getting a whole lot more involved in this office than I think that he originally signed on for. But I think he's okay with that. But you know, like he said, shit is starting to get strange up in here, and I'll talk about that later. Back to Olivia. So Olivia goes back and she's talking to the blurry laptop man, and you know, it's more the same. He's telling her what he gonna do and all this. And you know what? Olivia's patience is really about to run just as thin as the spies, okay? She's like, picks up the damn laptop and throws it on the ground. She's like, enough of this fuckery. Where the fuck is the man? Who is it? She's telling the guy who's the go-between, the guy who brought the laptop, and she was just like, listen, stupid ass. They will kill you, okay? You thinking that you know, you just the in-between, go-between, but they're gonna kill you, and you just gonna be dead, okay? So now I want you to tell me who this is. Well, the man's like, I don't know who it is. And she was like, well, what do you know? And he was like, all I know is a number. I know an account number. She was like, well, what is it? So he gives her the damn account number, okay? So now I didn't tell you guys earlier in the episode when they're all in the room and Quinn is watching them, you know, everybody is doing different things. They're calling in different things. One doctor is calling in prescription number. Somebody else is calling in a birthday, talking about a birthday. Another one is talking about it's all these numbers that's going back and forth throughout the room. Fast forward to what I'm talking about now. So she tells, she writes down the account number and she calls Huck, and she reads the number off to him, and he's like, you know what, that's a Swiss account. And he's like, I don't have time nor the energy to be trying to break into a Swiss account right now. You know, it's very, very hard to get onto an offshore account like that. Everything kind of start falling together. We start thinking about those numbers that was all floating around in the room before, and it comes to somebody's recollection that the doctor had called in a fucking prescription number that matched the exact same number as the Swiss bank account. Okay, so now we got our guy, right? So Huck sends all the associates away and tells Olivia, don't come back up here, you know, sends Harrison, and everybody's like, you guys go on, y'all go on. If you know what's best, you're going to get the hell on up out of here. And they do know what's best, so they do get the hell up out of there. The doctor, I believe he was the doctor, is Melvin. Whoever Melvin was, Melvin's about to get killed. They have him in the chair. Melvin just sitting there looking like, well, I guess this is it. And Huck jumps in front of the gun. Huck breaks off into, you know, this real eloquent speech about how he's changed and he's met a girl and he really likes her and this and that and the other. And you know what? Wink ain't got time for the bullshit, okay? Wink pull a gun out, put a damn bullet right through old Melvin's neck, okay? Kills Melvin, okay? She's like, fuck, I gotta get home to cook. I got babies at the house. I ain't got time for this. So they clean it up, you know, they remove the body and they get on up out of there, basically. Huck just sits there because Huck is, you know, he's probably kind of disgusted with what his life has become. Olivia shows up the next morning and she is relieved to see that Huck is still sitting there. You know, she's like, I don't want to know what happened. I'm just glad that you are here. That lets me know that it's been handled. Now, the whole story about the dual energy thing has died down pretty much in this episode, except for the one little nagging thing, which is James, okay? James is Cyrus's husband. And James, you guys know from the past episodes that James wants a baby. James been wanting to adopt a baby, and for some reason Cyrus is not really wanting to go there. Maybe because Cyrus is a fucking senior citizen and he done already raised his kids if he already got some. I don't blame him shit. James is considerably younger than Cyrus, and James wants a baby. But since they don't have a baby, James got all this fucking free time on his hands. So if James is like, listen, if I'm not gonna have no baby, I'm going back to work. Did I mention that James used to be a White House correspondent? James is back in the White House. He's, you know, in the halls. He's annoying Cyrus. He's writing stories and, you know, and just really sticking his nose in a whole bunch of places that he don't need to be. So his latest thing is he writes a story about dual energy, and he talks about Hollis and how he is such a redneck and how the only reason why anybody even lets him in the White House is because he got a whole bunch of damn money. Then he goes and cites his story that he got it from a type White House official. Cyrus is like, James, everybody knows that I'm a top. And he meant that in more ways than one. So, you know, Cyrus's nerves is also bad because he knows that this is the absolute wrongest, worst tree for James to be barking up, okay? Because he knows the whole issue with Hollis and dual energy. Is that the man's name, Hollis? Why do I feel like I'm saying it wrong? I'm sorry if I am, y'all. Now, Hollis is, you know, Hollis is ruthless, and Hollis gets up there in Cyrus's office like, listen, I don't give a fuck what's going on with you and your man at the house, but I know you better put a lid on that wife of yours. And Cyrus already knows this. He tells Olivia, and Olivia's like, listen, you need to talk to him. You need to do whatever you need to do to get him to stop because they are going to kill him. Cyrus already knows this, like I said. So he comes up with some story, and he come down to the White House, and, you know, he's telling them, listen, I'm going to get fired because of the stories that you've been writing, and, you know, you can't be writing stories about what I've told you and things like that. And, you know, James is like, I will stop. You know, he bites the worm, he buys the story, and he tells Cyrus that he'll stop. Now, we're going to see how long this lasts. I know one thing. Cyrus better get a fucking baby in that house quick. Well, I hope you guys are happy. I hope you guys are happy. Okay, now I know that you guys have been clamoring and real aggravated and irritated with the fact that Abby had been running around there being disrespectful to Olivia and asking questions that she didn't have no business asking and acting like it was her business and whatever, okay? Even after I tried to explain to you guys how it would feel when you work for somebody and they ask you to do all these things and then they don't tell you nothing. I want to know how many of you guys would really work for somebody and never ask a question in real life, in reality. I don't think that is all that bad that Abby asks questions, okay? Because Abby is like any other strong-willed person that has a mind of their own. But anyways, y'all, let me get to it, okay? Because I know y'all real happy about this. So David and Abby, you guys, they're dating and it's serious now, okay? It's getting to be something. It's not just fucking no more. They are really in a relationship. I think David is really starting to like her, okay? So he's there, they're talking. He's like, this is good, right? I mean, everything is working good. I mean, do you want a drawer? She's just like, a drawer? And he's just like, yeah, you know, I used to use it for this, but I'm not really using it. And I thought, you know, figured maybe you would want a drawer at the house. And you guys know, women, you know what a drawer symbolizes. This is when a man is okay with you putting down roots in their house. When they don't care that you leave shit at their house, okay? That's when you know that you are definitely in. So it sucks that they're trying to find out more information on this dual energy thing, because this is what is going to be the nail in the coffin for Abby and David. Olivia knows that they can't be together, and you know, she does listen to them on her laptop. She hears them talking about the drawer and everything, and it does kind of upset her that she knows that Abby comes from an abused marriage, and you know, then the guy that she was sleeping with last season, he's gone now, and you know, Olivia probably feels like, yeah, this girl does deserve to be happy in a relationship, but she can't be in a relationship with this one, because this is gonna get everybody killed, okay? So I know that I need to cut this whichever way that I need it to happen. Abby is the loosest string that Olivia just cannot afford to have. So, you know, when I was telling you that Harrison was like, okay, things are really starting to get weird in here, he goes and talks to Olivia. He's like, Olivia, listen, I need you to tell me something to do around here, okay? Things is getting real strange around here. Olivia tries to brush him off. He's like, no, listen, okay? First of all, we got Abby, okay, who we already know is going through her issues. And then we got Quinn, who's just about to be going down the same damn road as Abby. And then we got Hook, and, you know, Hook is Hook. You know, I'm here. You've been there for me. Let me be there for you. Let me do something. You know, just tell me what to go do and I'll go do it. And, you know, Olivia, she finally goes on. She's like, you know what, David and Abby cannot be together. I can't tell you why, but they cannot be together. She drops him a little hint that Abby comes from an abused marriage. You know, maybe that's something he could use. So, to make a long story short, Harrison plants information, and, you know, he pays off David's ex-girlfriend to fill Abby's head with, you know, with the relationship stories about how he used to beat her up and they fought and blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, Abby is probably like many abused women. Once they get out of that situation, they'll be damned if they're going to let somebody else ever do that to them. So, you know, Abby is very strong-willed and strong-minded already. Anyway, she goes over to David's house and she goes off on him. It's just like, you know what, you ain't never got to worry about me around these parts no more, mister. And, you know, David is really trying to calm her down, and he's just like, you know, he reaches out to her and she just kind of draws back, and she's like, if you touch me again, I will kill you. And she meant that with every word of her being. David was just like, you know, he was trying to get her to calm down. She would not calm down. She wouldn't listen. And then, you guys, he said, but I gave you a drawer. Oh my God, you guys, it broke my heart. That broke my heart. Because even with how much I can't stand Abby sometimes, you guys, I just like to see people happy and in love. I just don't like to see when somebody who was really genuine, even especially when it's a guy that's really showing his feelings for a woman. I just felt so bad that, you know, he was just like, what the fuck happened? I mean, I thought we was doing fine. I know why it happened. I understand that it had to happen. But you guys are just, at that moment, it made me not like Olivia. Okay, it made me not like Olivia and the ruthlessness that she has. Now, like I said, I know she has to have it, but still, I felt so sorry for David. Alright, you guys, so that's it. Like I said, no scandal next week. Won't be on for 2 more weeks. So, next week, I'm going to have to get an extra video in for you guys so I can get my 4 videos up again, right? Alright, I think I got one in mind. I think I am going to do an It's Real with It's Rocks and probably post it early in the week. Alright, so you guys be looking out for that. You guys make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm It's Rocks. My channel is for It's Rocks. And everything else I do will be in the bottom bar below. Alright? Also, you guys, don't forget that I have my book that is on my blog spot. Chapters 1 through 7 is on there, and I sure would like you guys to go over there and read it for me. I'm proud of it. It's my baby. And it's called Full Circle, so you guys can also go over there and check that out. And that's it. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.